Hey everyone, Teehashee here, and we're back with some more RogueTech gameplay here. Uh, just getting a couple more contracts done. We did a more difficult one, um, a defense mission, but unfortunately we failed it because we could only afford to lose uh, one of our buildings. A total of two, I think. We had one extra, and then if you lost one beyond that, it's a loss. And that's what happened. Very sad. Here we've got a hot landing. Probably our next best bet for taking on the bad guys. Just looking here if we want to shift to a longer range profile for one of these pilots. We do have this new catapult ready to go, which would probably be a more responsible replacement for, not even a replacement, but more responsible use for the Thunderbolt. I didn't realize actually that we had two different models of Thunderbolt. The model that we've got has those extra hard points on it. Kind of interesting. Alright, enough fooling around. Let's go get this taken care of. For hot landing missions, we're anticipating one lance of mechs and another lance of reinforcements. Though it can be more than that. And as always on Three Skull Mission, two lances of pristine mechs can be a pretty serious threat. And any more than that, probably a disaster. Just unplug my headset really quick. There we go. It seems like lowlands missions are kind of rare. Just scoping out where reinforcements are likely to come from. It's kind of a small arena, honestly. We'll break right just because it reduces our chances of being ambushed. Yeah, we've already made contact with the enemy. On the previous mission, we ourselves came out of the fighting okay. We even got, though we didn't get very much salvage, we got decent salvage out of the mission. It's just disappointment not to succeed in that mission. Took out uh, 5 or 6 mechs before the end of it, and I believe we were fighting 3 separate lances, so that would have been about half of them. But we had to keep them at bay for 4 more rounds, and it was just not possible. We basically needed the ability to deal way more damage much faster to get anywhere like that with that mission. Just sort of picking around, deciding how we're gonna move up here. I've noticed that one thing that can happen when you're building scouts is you can make them such an undesirable target compared to your other targets that no one wants to shoot at them, which has been kind of happening recently. It hasn't been the worst. It's not the end of the world, but something worth taking seriously. Already pretty solid damage going into this grasshopper. It looks like if we crept up here just a little bit, we could fire the medium lasers as well. Yeah, that's the case. 45 and 55 tons. This is also their heaviest mech that we're shooting at, so wiped out a lot of its heat sinks. Shame we're not in position for a well, who says we're not in position for a melee attack, right? Too bad we can't exactly land in those woods, but on the other hand, we can land with our back to that rock, which isn't that bad a thing. That'll give that grasshopper something to think about. We've fought quite a few grasshoppers, enough to salvage one of them at this point. Or, I mean, really, this would be our third. Here are reinforcements. We need to up our piloting to get that instability threshold higher. But I guess our dream is coming true. They're shooting at the dragon. Okay, let's get in here and finish this grasshopper off. Probably can afford to be aggressive because they're going to keep shooting at the dragon until we move it again. We'll just put everything into the center torso. There we go. Ideally, we'll take out this blackjack. It's gonna be a knockdown. Well, first ever knockdown of the game. Don't know how I feel about that. It looks like an indirect fire. I guess for the sake of keeping damage up, we'll shoot at the Wolverine instead. Barely producing any heat with this catapult. Might as well just keep blasting away with it. Here come the mediums to dunk on my poor baby. Jeez. In here I thought I was making this smart play by having this rock here. It doesn't seem to be helping us hardly at all. Alright. Stand up. Let's do it like this. Probably gonna keep our heat down because we're gonna need to be moving a lot. I'm glad we moved right away. Alrighty. Here we go with this crap again. I guess the difference is you've got two missile boats staring at the back of your head. Probably not what you want to see. He's there in the dead zone. There we go. probably reserve Teehashee for a turn. We want him to get shot at more than anything that I can imagine we can gain by shooting at someone. Let's just take a look at this. Yeah, we need to crank out 94 damage. We would have to hit everything center torso, including an LRM5 for change. So we're not going to do that. We're going to reserve. I think that's the knockdown. Well, I guess we're getting all of our knockdowns out of the way. We're also learning a valuable lesson about these DFAing early in the mission when we just don't have the piloting skill for it. Okay. This is looking a lot like a kill shot. That should be, 28 damage. I was just checking to see if we could jump in that Wolverine's rear arc. We can't just yet. Should be enough to put them in the ground. Might sprint Teehashee this turn. I just don't like the enemy, or the idea of jumping towards the enemy like that when this mech is suffering as much as it is. There's got to be either a Warhammer or a Catapult out there that's just getting those free shots with the PPCs. But these are my frontliners, and I was way too aggressive with them this time around. I'm gonna jump into this lake. There we go. I was considering doing that precision shot, but it just wasn't necessary. I think we'll just pull Behemoth around like this, and I could jump her instead if it'll listen to me. Okay, first lance is down, and their scouts are out of the way. Just gonna make them burn through all of their movement. Okay. So just these two. It might be just these two. I didn't get that impression, but it could be. Possibly just two catapults, actually. A K and a C model. Actually, this mech is much too damaged for what I'm thinking about doing with it. Our heat's getting up there too, so we'll just do the smart thing. There's the C1, so pretty sure that's the K. Well, we do have an advantage in that regard, since they're both short-range mechs. Nope, there's a full lance. Oh boy. I'm just gonna fire one of these for the full damage potential. Or increased damage potential, I should say. For catapult, it doesn't matter near as much. How's this one been doing on ammo? Seems like we still got a lot. Here's our PPC sniper. We don't know what this is then, unless they're just all that way. Unless they're just all that way. Another catapult, okay. Boy, this is like the perfect reserve lands that they brought in here. Alright. Pretty much gonna need to brace. Let's do something like this. Just reserve again. Okay. Now we know what we're up against. We called it pretty much right. But this is the this is the support lance. These are the reinforcements you want, at least while your scouts are all still alive. We're gonna lose some of their advantage, but it's to the point where engaging at point blank with our brawlers is gonna be pretty risky for us as well. So Decker hasn't even come close to pushing enough heat to warrant coolant vent, so we're just going to start pushing some heat. What we need to do is reduce their damage output, damage potential. Glitch, on the other hand, has had no problem making heat. There went that arm. Boy, that guy is hitting all of his shots. Just amazing. We're gonna have to get in here. Let's see. I'm just checking out my options here for a second. Really looking for more instability than anything. Probably need to move the Warhammer now. Let's just do this instead. Not terribly surprising that they went for that. Doesn't look like anywhere I go gives me a straight shot on the other catapult. Not the end of the world. But we are going to need stuff to start happening. There's an ammo explosion. Probably will be able to do a kill with the dragon. She must have hit the only piece of armor that we had left. I hate you. Won't be able to believe that they're not going to shoot at her again. Okay. I think that's the end of you. think we'll save our precision strike. I'm sure we're going to want it for a rainy day. Still have a little bit of evasion left. Let's just reserve. Honestly, can't tell if that's a mistake or not. Okay. Looks like they're hoping to take out that leg because it is badly damaged. As badly damaged as it gets. Okay. Let's attack on the rear. It's probably our best bet. I think we've got to play with Behemoth now. Something like this. There we go. Now our plan with the catapult, the last catapult, is we're going to flank behind it, but that's not the entire plan. What the plan is let's just coolant vent now. We're going to use precision strike on it. We can hope for damage, that's fine, but the bigger idea is to reduce its initiative. I think that was a miss. Oh, there went the leg, though. Sorry, Behemoth. We tried. Try and put this guy in the ground. There we go. We're very close to doing it. Just didn't quite get it done. Okay, well, What what a disaster. But what else is there to say about it? It was all my fault. I made a bunch of dumb decisions. We have grasshopper parts. Probably going to take that. We can finish another Wolverine and another chunk of the catapult C1. That's a nice large laser. We could definitely... And there's a plus damage medium laser. I generally consider those like must-haves, honestly. So I think we'll drop this and we'll try and drop this. Get out of there. There we go. We'll continue building these two mechs because the odds are high that we'll use them eventually. We're glad we took it because that's all we got that was worth anything. You got that right, Yang. We need 2 heat sinks and a jump jet for this bad boy. That's what it looks like. Alright. Easily done. Been having kind of a rough time with our contracts though. I mean, not the worst, but I definitely like my contracts to be really, really clean. That's an escort mission. That's going to be a nightmare. Ambush convoy, usually a bad option as well. Destroy base. Even those missions that give the enemy force multipliers like turrets. Not great. Almost rather take on this next priority mission. Let's go to the command center. What is the matter with this thing? Oh, it's because I'm already there. Sorry. Everyone's laughing because I've broken, gone insane. Here's a trip to Weldry. That's probably a nice place to bounce back from my failures. Here we go. Fighting pirates. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You're pirates. Obviously, they're going to hire mercenaries to stop pirates, especially in lieu of some kind of police force. Discipline the mech techs, that would be a bad decision. No. Like, especially after being in the Air Force, and flying for the Air Force, the real guys and a lot of the nicest people too are always the maintenance folk, keeping the birds in the skies. So we've got the money. We should just push it out to these guys and make it worth it to them. All right. Well, that's nice. Definitely worth the investment, I would say. I don't think I don't think we need anything else done in this mech bay. Warhammer is still being worked on. Did its refit not happen? I'm confused. Oh, I see. Got it. Got it. Okay. That's probably like one day. Okay. Probably upon reaching Weldry, we'll go to market. We haven't done that yet this game, and it is going to be time to take our stuff in. That's what it's looking like. My buddy was asking if these were skippable, but I'm pretty sure they cover up loading screens. This bit doesn't. This is gameplay, but the cutscenes, I'm pretty sure, because it's generating the planet and everything else. And I've noticed that, like, when you load into a new planet or something like that, it can take quite a bit to figure that out. Oh, hold on. drive system upgrades are uh, a really good investment, but it's also, since that's the time you're taking to get like your people healed and your mechs refitted, it's something that you usually do last. The hospital bay is also super cool. I think we need to do Lambda Pod, and we probably can't afford it yet. Yeah. We can bring up the third mech bay, which are another boost to our tech points. That's also, yeah, it's also a major purchase. Not a surprise, though. It's fair enough. We could go for something cheaper. Morale boosters. I think we'll take these capacitors. Alright. Look at the hiring hall really quick. Can't get Helix yet for some reason. I don't know why he is MRB 500. He's not even that fancy. Corporate manager. Enlisted infantry recruit. Mercenary corporal. Yeah. He's got a nice resume, to be fair to him. Nice goggles. Love it. Convict. Lawyer. Are you sure about that? Tarzan, this person has a very similar CV. Technical school, independent trader, merchant ship officer. That's a nice skill set. We definitely don't need that many scouts, but a good pick. This is nice too. Noble Heir. Solaris Gladiator. And a peer at MechWarrior. Boy, this guy's done all sorts of stuff as well. I don't think we're hurting that bad for pilots. Archer, awesome. Centurion, Enforcer, Quick Draw Fire Starter, Vulcan. Here's another weightless machine gun, piece of Miracle technology. We're going to pick that up. Comm systems, now we're talking. Piece of incredible technology. And a heat exchanger. Also a very respectable piece of technology. Also just enough to break the bank. Okay. Poor Locust. Let's just start selling both of our trebuchets. We only want to sell one. I do a kind of Pokemon style thing where I like to have one in the bay. I'm sure other people do this, but it is neat to have the mechs sit around and do nothing. I know it's silly. I'll sell 5 of those. 6. Usually when your stuff gets into double digits. I hesitate to sell too many LRM5s. But sort of the way it breaks out is the heavier heavier the weapon is, the less of them you need, because you just plain can't mount that many of them. Keep about 20 medium lasers on hand. We'll never need that many, but that's okay. Something like that. Look at all the PPCs. I'm not a big fan of PPCs. You'll probably hear me say it over and over again. Probably could have sold even more than that, but that's okay. SRMs. There we go. Heat sinks. Jump jets. Ammo. Okay, so that's our financial situation reversed. We're solvent again. We've got this contract to do. Oh, let's get Behemoth out of the med bay. There we go. Just like a comic book, status quo is all restored, and we're good to keep flying again. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll do a couple more contracts next time, and then we'll go push Castle Nautilus after that. See you soon.